Chicago and Caleb Williams. And we watched this game closely. Woo! I made this Tennessee bet in May. I was like, they're going to win this game. And I've never been so right about a game where I had to give money. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never been so right about a game. If Will Levis didn't try to be Brett Favre.
Oh, my God.
You know, Tennessee's special teams were terrible. Now, they did recover a fumble on the new kickoff rule, but that was just a freak thing.
Yep.
Otherwise, it was like Chicago got all types of wins with their defense, with their special teams. In the middle of the game, me and Nola turned to each other and saying, man, this guy can call a game, Callahan.
Yep.
But as good as he was cooking it up, like there's no good call for a quarterback that can't just hit the mascot, buddy. Just put it in the first row. Right. You know, it's at that point it's a tie ball game, or did they tie it on that pick six?
It might have been tied at that point.
Yeah, I mean, so it was just a terrible decision. And on the other side of things, Tennessee, that defense is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a well-coached group. You can see the physicality that Denard Wilson brings. He was with me in Philly. He's been with Schwartz. He's been with Greg Williams. He's been with McDonald. Like he's got a good little portfolio. And you walk into a room and you add Awuzie and Snead and all those guys, and you got Simmons, and they're just the rushers are relentless. The secondary was physical. I thought they had a really nice game defensively, and yeah, it's a rookie, but I heard he's Patrick Mahomes, so you better give the Tennessee defense some respect, or acknowledge that rookies have a ways to go when they get in the first week of the inside the NFL last week. Bill Belichick caught a lot of heat for being, in people's estimation, too dismissive of Caleb Williams' 20 red zone or preseason throws. You know, Chad said, hey, like, I can't wait to see the Bears because of this Caleb Williams. And Bill didn't get the knee pads out, and people have been killing Bill for a week. All right? Y'all need to come back to that now, because he was right. It is preseason. And in saying that, he's not saying the guy's going to be trash. But what he is saying, and what I was saying, was in week one, things are different, okay? And the timing looked to be a little bit off. You know, I'd like to chalk some of the missed go balls, like the out and up, stuff like that, up to timing. You know, he kind of got bailed out. He drilled a dude in the helmet. And then a couple of plays later, they get their first touchdown, I think. So it was just that he was all over the place.
And maybe one of the reasons why early Bill doesn't like him is because Bill is a guy that doesn't like players talking in the media. And what was one of the first things Caleb says? He tells the new punter, Torrey Taylor, don't worry, you won't be punting a lot. 6 punts, 270 punting yards, 45-yard average, 3 inside the 20. He actually punted a lot, and he did pretty decent. Helped them out.
Yeah,
and
help flip.
That's maybe the first.
Help flip the field.
That's maybe the first guy you're coming up to after the game and being like, "Hey, sorry, man, the workload was a little heavy today. I told you would never see the field." But
what did Coach Belichick said 10 of 20, right, in the preseason?
Yeah.
He was 14 of 29 yesterday, so he's right on that. 50%.
And listen, and I got into this thing with the guy from QB school who was. God damn. It's only because my brain is spinning right now.
O'Sullivan? JT O'Sullivan.
Yeah, JT O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
JT O'Sullivan, who's the best, bro. Like, if you watch his breakdowns, they're incredible. And he's a pro quarterback. And, you know, he had posted the other night, like, you know, this is Cap, a video of us on Inside the NFL, and, like, you know, people aren't going to want to be on the wrong side of this and yada, yada, yada. Like, the Williams fans, we don't need to be like this. Put the gun down, man, guys, right? Gals. No one knows. And for Bill to say, hey, I just want to wait a couple weeks before I break the knee pads out, like, he kind of got killed over it. And I had tweeted JT to be like, hey, just so I'm clear, who's going to be on the wrong side of history here from this clip? Because there's going to be a lot of people mining clips to see who's right and wrong. Mm-hmm. No one knows. And that's the point we're all making. And me and JT were going back and forth under this video. I think what you end up doing at the end of the conversation is realizing that, like, okay, we're kind of on the same side, which is nothing's happened yet. You think he's going to be amazing. I'm not as confident as a JT O'Sullivan or a Bears fan or some of the other guys who have anointed the guy to say it in preseason. I want to see it in the regular season. So
yeah, but okay, Chris, the Bears are 1-0, man. An ugly win is a win. That's great. You know what I mean? Like, they got to win.
Non sequitur, Beau. We're talking about the quarterback's performance. Hey, they could win 17 games this way, but in the playoffs, eventually you can't play that way. I mean, you're not going to win 17 games that way. I
would rather play bad and get a win.
Huh?
You'd rather have a rookie quarterback play bad and get a win than play great and get a loss. That's all I'm going to say.
If you have playoff aspirations, yes, and they do. But I don't want to see it 2 weeks in a row. I don't want to see it 3 weeks in a row. Like, if that was Drake May that played that way yesterday or Jaden Daniels, what are people saying?
Bust.
All I'm saying is, if you're going to get mad at people for not anointing the guy in preseason, then you also have to be loud about your criticisms of him when he falls way short of that marker. He could be Patrick Mahomes one day. You can see it, that he has some rare arm talent and some mobility and some creativity. But
he didn't show much.
But it's early.
Show much jitters. It's first game.
Early.
First game jitters.
Win.
And I picked him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year and picked them to go to the playoffs because that team's so good.
A concern for the Bears week 2, though, is rookie wide receiver Rome Odunze did he's getting an MRI on his knee this morning. Doesn't know the severity.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. Caleb's got to make the passes, open guys.
Yeah.
And maybe his adrenaline and his play will go up. Next week you're playing against one of the best new quarterbacks in the league. You want to aspire to kind of have the season that he had last year. Maybe you could step it up, change everyone's opinion, go and get another win.
I think the biggest thing you take away from this game is if Caleb can figure it out this year. The Bears were down 17-0 to a team that's got a good defense and was running the ball pretty well at times, and they came back to win.
Yep.
And the quarterback threw for 100 yards.
Yep.
They could not get into any sort of a rhythm passing game, and they still found a way to win that game. Now, there are outliers there. It'd be one thing if you won the game 12-7, Beau, in your hypothetical, your binary hypothetical of would you rather, okay? But it's another thing if you're saying we're going to live off of a pick six that the guy basically – he fucking threw a bouquet at a wedding.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, here you go, you're up next.
And then fell to his knees.
And they were up by 1 at that point.
They were up by 1 at that point.
They were up 1.
And then you get a run back, you get all types of stuff that goes wrong for you. So that's not sustainable.
My point is this. It's early.
Mm-hmm.
Did Caleb Williams play well? No.
Yeah.
Did any rookie quarterbacks play well? I honestly don't think so. I don't think any of them played well. Jaden Daniels had some decent stance, but I don't think he actually played that well.
No, they're rookies, man.
Anyway, what I'm saying is the Bears got an ugly win early, and that's the kind of thing that can help. That just helps your team so much later down the stretch. And that's all I'm saying.
And everybody's a hater, and then when they're right, it's like, well, it's week 1. I'm like, that's what I was saying.
But the
whole fucking time.
The best equalizer for all of this and the Bears, one thing they have on their side right now is if their special teams keeps playing like the way they did. I mean, a kickoff return for a touchdown. Like a kickoff return for a touchdown in a game is huge, and now even more with the new kickoff and not having a lot of tape, coaches not having a lot of tape to really break down how can we exploit this new kickoff, what can we do.
That's a hidden thing. Yeah, there were some big plays yesterday.
Whatever teams can really dive into that, and coaches can really dive into that like efficiently during the season right now, I think that's another edge teams like that aren't that good can use to their advantage, because field position is going to be huge for a young quarterback.
No question.
We talk about
and he had good field.
It
Tennessee also going up 17-0 was a miracle, because the whole beginning of the game was a disaster from a field position standpoint. Breon, you're back. I love you. Breon, I love you. I do love Breon. Breon, you're Breon. It might seem like I got a rivalry with Breon. I don't. But she said Trevor Lawrence did 2 years, did nothing, had the number 1 pick his second year. Media didn't advertise. I guess what she's saying is that, like, what about Trevor Lawrence? We didn't do this week 1. How do you know we didn't do this week 1? This is what things have gotten to where we're like, what about this guy? What about this guy? Do you want him to be Trevor Lawrence? Because I don't. Mm-mm. He's supposed to be Patrick Mahomes. If he's Trevor Lawrence in 3 years, this is a failure. Yeah. Even though Trevor got paid, did you see what happened yesterday? Is that where you want the Bears to be? Losing to Miami when Miami had 2 guys in cuffs before the game and fucking couldn't get the offense going for a lot of the day. And, eventually they found a way. It was a tough, gutsy win by them.